There was an interesting find that came from the 2002 consortium, International Consortium for the Sequencing of Chimpanzee Chromosome 22. It hit the internet big time early on in the millennia, and it was that 98.7% of the chimpanzee DNA sequencing matched that of the human genome sequencing. But upon further inspection, what that consortium mentioned was that about 20% of the sequences didn't match any, didn't align at all with the human sequences. So it's not 98.7%, it's really much less than that. And in addition, a few months later, the Max Planck Institute released their findings from a similar study. Only 2/3 of the segments that they studied aligned with human DNA segments. And when they considered and mentioned the indels that you could also consider and that sort of thing, the 98.7% of 2/3 dropped to below 90% of 2/3. So bottom line is this: well below 65% of the DNA sequences from chimpanzees match the DNA sequences from humans. So most of the professors and teachers I know of in the area of biology are very good about sharing this information. They're up to date, and they let their students know we did not evolve from primates. We're still looking for the missing link. In addition, it would be interesting for us to note that every hominid we've found so far, and we were looking at hominids roaming the earth for about the last 7 million years, every hominid, supposed transitionary species from primates to Homo sapiens, has also been a dead end on the evolutionary path. A book that I would strongly recommend is a book by Faz Rana, and it's called Who Was Adam? Again, if you look at the bibliography here, some of the latest information, including what we just discussed, is in this book. If you have any interest in biology and looking at some of the latest scientific discoveries, it's an excellent reference and just a great read. So bottom line is, once again, we're finding that the more we discover in biology and other areas of science, the more we recognize that our assumptions that we've carried for quite some time aren't really standing up very well to the evidence that we're collecting. So that's good news for those of us that believe in a God, bad news for those of us that are believing that we can explain everything by natural explanations. One last thing, and I can't help it. And it's not to rub anybody's noses in this. Again, most of the professors I know have a lot of integrity with regard to this. But suppose you're a college student and you just happen to have a bad day. You got 62% on a biology test. I would suggest you go to a professor and say, you know, it's true I only got 62%, but of the 2/3 of my answers that closely matched your answers, I had 98.7% of those correct. So I'm requesting that you bump my grade up to an A. After all, there is some precedence in the area of biology for such a deal. I'll be a monkey's uncle if they go along with it, but hey, you know what? It's worth a try.